Good afternoon. It's June 9th, 2024. It's the 10th Sunday in Ordinary Time. And in our readings today, we have a couple of elements at play. In the first reading, we're hearing how God is walking in the garden and discovers that Adam and Eve have eaten from the forbidden fruit. And of course, the interesting play in this is, what does Adam do? He blames Eve. What does Eve do? Blames the serpent. And what it reminds me of is, there was a comedian years ago who used to have this tagline. His name was Flip Wilson. And his tagline was, "And the devil made me do it," or "The devil made me do it." And basically what it is an opportunity or a way of expressing that I'm not responsible. In the gospel, Jesus is chastising the Pharisees because they're going, well, he's doing it because he has a devil. And of course, the devil operating against his house, it falls. And that's the point that Jesus makes. But in the midst of all of this, we also have the reading from St. Paul that invites us to reflect upon, why do we do what we do? In the case of Adam and Eve, yes, they were tempted. Yes, they were enticed. But they had free will. We can talk about their naivety, but at the same time, they chose. They chose. And that's one of the key elements here, is the understanding of, I chose. I chose to do what I did. But frequently, we don't understand ourselves. And we don't really know ourselves very, very well. It's sort of that part when I catch myself telling a lie. Do I ask myself why I told that lie? Do I reflect on why I told that lie? And is my justification valid, rational, or not? If I find myself gossiping, if I find myself stealing, why am I doing what I'm doing? And what am I doing to correct that? It's often very, very easy to reflect upon that material side of ourselves. I know for myself, because I have ADHD, there's that part where it's like, I know what I can eat and what I cannot eat. I know what I can do and what I cannot do because they affect me. But that's an easy part of it. But when it comes to our spiritual life, do we spend the time, the energy, and the reflection to sort of figure ourselves out? Why do I sin? What is the motivations that take place within me? When I do good, what is the motivations within me? Because it's not just the negative side that we look at, it's the positive side also. Because if I want to build up the positive side, well, why am I doing it? It's kind of like, I love working with charity. If I love, working in the soup kitchen, if I love working in the interfaith food bank, what is coming into me? But also, what is motivating me? Because in all honesty, I've seen people working in a soup kitchen purely out of guilt. They see themselves as having much, right? And this is their way of combating that feeling of guilt. It's not a bad thing. It's not a bad start, but something more needs to be developed. One of those things they accuse Catholics of is having a highly developed sense of guilt. And to a certain extent, that's not a bad thing. If I realize that I shouldn't have done that, if I realize that I should have done more and I have a sense of guilt, maybe that can be built into something very, very positive. Because guilt is that awareness that something is not quite right. What's really, really scary is when you have people who have no sense of guilt, that they do not see that there is something that is not right. But in the midst of all of this, we're back to the question, why am I doing it? What's the motivation? What's going on within me? Right? Am I being enticed? Am I being tempted? What's going on? And oftentimes we miss that. And so what I invite you to do is to kind of reflect on, why do you do the things that you do? If you find yourself telling lies, why? If you find yourself gossiping, why? If you find yourself swearing, why? Where is this coming from? Where is the motivation, the temptation, enticement, whatever. Why am I doing what I'm doing? If I'm doing good things, if I'm working for charity, if I'm helping out at a soup kitchen, if I'm helping out at an interfaith food bank, if I'm helping out, why am I doing it? What is the motivation? What is going on within me that invites me to do that? And then I'll leave you with one final one. And this I have given to the different masses this weekend. I've asked them why. Why are you here? Why are you at Mass today? What's motivating you? What's bringing you here? And my hope and my prayer is that it's faith in God, a love for Jesus Christ, a desire to hear the Word of God proclaimed, and to be fed by the Word of God, and to receive the Eucharist, the body, blood, soul, and divinity of Jesus Christ. That's my prayer. But even that has more to it than that. Because for some people, the intimacy of receiving the Eucharist that builds our relationship with Christ, there's the powerful motivation. And I know there are people that come for the music, and there are people that come to socialize, and there are people that come for all kinds of reasons. But sometimes we're invited to go a little deeper, to look a little deeper, and challenge ourselves to look to the roots of why we do what we do, both the good and the bad. So if you went to church today, why'd you go? What was your motivation? What was going on within you? And please God, it was something from the heart. Please God, it was something about your relationship with Jesus Christ. May God watch over you, protect you, guard you all the days of your life. It is June 9th, 2024, the 10th Sunday of Ordinary Time.